The warm glow of Edison bulbs cast a golden light across beans and pages, the cozy cafe where Emma worked her evening shifts. She loved these quiet hours when the afternoon rush had faded and only a few regulars remained, nursing their drinks, while reading or working on laptops. The exposed brick walls held the gentle hum of conversation, and the aroma of freshly roasted coffee beans wrapped around everything like a comfortable blanket. Emma had been working at the cafe for 8 months now, saving money for her master's degree in literature. She knew most of the regular customers by heart, their usual orders, their favorite seats, even their reading preferences. But there was one customer who remained a mystery. He came in every night at exactly 7:30, always alone, always, ordering the same thing, a simple black coffee, no sugar, no cream. He would sit at the corner table near the window, sometimes reading a book, sometimes just staring out at the street with a thoughtful expression. He was handsome in a quiet way, with kind eyes and an easy smile that he shared whenever Emma brought him his coffee. Thank you, he would say, his voice gentle and sincere. You make the best coffee in the city. Emma would smile back, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with the cafe's atmosphere. But he never stayed long, just 30 minutes, maybe 45 on a good night. Then he would leave a generous tip, nod goodbye, and disappear into the evening. She had started looking forward to 7:30 with an anticipation that surprised her. There was something calming about his presence, something that made her feel less alone during the long evening shifts. Her co-worker Sarah had noticed too. You light up whenever he walks in, Sarah had teased one evening. Why don't you ask his name? But Emma was too shy for that. Besides, he seemed to value his privacy. He dressed simple jeans, sweaters, casual button-down shirts, nothing flashy, nothing that would make him stand out in a crowd. He looked like someone who worked with his hands, maybe a teacher or a writer, someone who appreciated quiet moments and good coffee. One evening, as autumn painted the leaves outside in shades of gold and red, Emma noticed he looked particularly tired. There were shadows under his eyes, and his usual peaceful demeanor seemed strained. When she brought him his coffee, she hesitated for a moment. Long day? She asked softly. He looked up, surprised by the question, then his expression softened. You could say that work has been challenging lately. Emma wanted to ask more, but the dinner rush was starting, and other customers needed her attention. Still, she found herself glancing over at his table throughout the evening. He stayed longer than usual that night, reading the same page of his book over and over, as if his mind was somewhere else entirely. The next evening, he didn't come in at 7:30. Emma found herself watching the door, checking the time every few minutes. 7:40, 8 o'clock, 8:30. Maybe he was just running late, she told herself. But as 9 o'clock approached with no sign of him, a strange disappointment settled in her chest. He didn't come the next night either, or the night after that. By the end of the week, Emma was genuinely worried. Had something happened to him? Was he sick? Had he simply found a new cafe? The thought bothered her more than it should have. She realized she had grown attached to their brief, wordless exchanges. His presence had become a comfortable constant in her routine. On Saturday evening, as Emma was wiping down tables near closing time, she found a magazine someone had left behind. Pathos Business Weekly, the cover announced. She was about to toss it in the recycling bin when something made her pause. The man on the cover looked familiar, very familiar. Emma's hands trembled slightly as she opened the magazine. There, in a full-page article titled The Loneliest Success Story, How CEO Michael Chen Built an Empire While Raising His Daughter Alone, was a professional photo of her 7:30 regular. Her coffee regular was a millionaire, painted a picture of a man who had built a successful tech company from nothing, all while raising his 8-year-old daughter. Emma, the same name as her own after his wife had passed away 3 years earlier. The writer described him as intensely private, someone who rarely gave interviews and preferred to stay out of the public eye. Success means nothing if you have no one to share it with. He was quoted as saying, "These days, my evenings are, for Emma, she's my whole world. But sometimes, a father needs a quiet moment to himself, a place where he can just be normal." Emma's heart swelled as she read those words. She understood now why he had seemed so tired that last evening. The article mentioned the recent launch of a new product line and the pressure he was under to make it successful. It also mentioned how he had been spotted at various coffee shops around the city. Always alone, always keeping to himself. The next Monday, Emma was nervous all day. Would he come back? Would he be embarrassed if he knew she had figured out who he was? As 7:30 approached, she found herself straightening her apron and checking her hair in the reflection of the espresso machine. At exactly 7:32, the door chimed. He walked in, looking more relaxed than she had seen him in weeks. Their eyes met across the cafe, and he smiled the same gentle smile she had grown to cherish. Emma prepared his usual black coffee with extra care, her hand steady despite her racing heart. When she brought it to his table, she set it down gently and then, on impulse, sat down across from him. I'm Emma, she said simply. He blinked in surprise. Then his smile widened. Michael, he replied. It's nice to finally meet you, Emma. I've been wondering about your name for months. Funny. Coincidence, Emma said, thinking of his daughter. I read that your daughter is also named Emma. His expression shifted slightly, not upset, but cautious. You know who I am? I found out by accident, Emma said quickly. A magazine someone left behind. I won't tell anyone. I just... I wanted you to know that it doesn't change anything. You're still welcome here. You're still just the nice man who drinks black coffee and leaves good tips. Michael was quiet for a long moment, staring down at his coffee. When he looked up again, his eyes were bright with something that might have been relief. Do you know how long it's been since someone has looked at me and just seen ... Me, he asked softly. Not the company, not the money, not the tragic widower. A story that the press loves so much. Just ... Michael. Well, Michael, Emma said, feeling bold, would you like to stay for a second cup tonight? I get off work in an hour. We could talk about books, or coffee, or anything that has nothing to do with business. Michael's smile was radiant. I would like that very much. As Emma returned to work, she felt a lightness in her step that hadn't been there before. Sometimes the most beautiful connections happen in the simplest places, between two people who just need someone to see them for who they really are. And sometimes, the best love stories begin with nothing more complicated than really good coffee.